Right then, let's get going at some point. We'll give it a couple of minutes and let people join in.
Evening, Gunmad.
Evening. I love how you even know. I love how you know without even. Yeah, we'll give it a couple of minutes. We'll let a few people jump in. I'm not going to get too far ahead. I think let's turn you off. So I'm just having a quick look through the list. There's a lot of names here that I recognise, which is good. It's going to be a good season. Moment 4. Yeah, we'll get going. So, afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the season.
Like still works XD.
Yeah, it still works. I haven't changed anything since the last time first time I
Is this
tried.
strange person I hear low?
Who's this strange person? It's someone that doesn't exist in this league anymore. He's a ghost. He doesn't appear at all. So, welcome to season 21. I know, season 21. We're getting up there. Welcome to a new round. Welcome to Tier 4 Blue. First time here at Montreal for us as an ALR. I think it's the first time we're streaming here as well this week.
Gunmad.
So it'll be great to see. Hello, Astra. Got some familiar names that I can see. We got also some unfamiliar names. I'm going to go through, like I said in the message at the start of the season. If I mispronounce your names, please come and tell me. Please come and try and teach me how to pronounce your name. I'm always yeah, I'll stick with that. Yeah, try and teach me how to pronounce your name. The other thing is my sense of humor can be quite dry at times. If I'm saying something that doesn't sit quite well with you, speak to me. We'll sort it out so it doesn't happen again. So, going through the grid, we've got Astro in P1 in the 911. That's going to last about a tenth of a second. We then got T-Bot in P2, a TBG driver. We then got Way2 in third,
You're
Zab
not
in fourth.
HTTP Pyro LOL.
You're not HTTP, I'm not Pyro.
You always get someone's name wrong every time.
Yeah, I know I do.
Rank in second low.
I know I always get someone's name wrong, which is why I always say it. I'm renowned for getting people's names wrong. We then got Tom in fifth, Obi-Wan in sixth, Sir Tracy, in seventh. Now, I need to speak to... Oh, no! Sorry, 2 seconds. I'm going to switch my buttons. Just a tickle. There we go. Now, I need to speak to you guys about this driver.
Rolling on the floor laughing.
NTO is your helper for this season. He is also a great guy to be around and great guy to sort of chat to and whatnot. Him and I have been chatting, and he has got a very, very special message to pass on to you guys. He says, NTO is quick, yeah. He has asked everyone to bully him off the track as much as possible, be annoying as possible, and cause him a lot of things because he likes doing things in the league. I have been told. So please, you have my permission to, if you see this car, give him a rough time. Anyway, going further forward, we then got Kanata in 9th. We got Radiate in 10th, Danger in 11th, Gru in 12th, D-Dubs in 13th, Matthew in 14th, Jezza in 15th, and Yuri bringing up the rear in 16th.
That can be arranged.
That can be. I know it can be arranged. That's why I'm asking you guys. Let me. Sorry, because there's a few people. Sorry, just a moment. There we go. I'm trying to see if I can get a few more people in. Right, enough chat. Let's get going as we've got 4 or 5 red lights. And away we go. Astro gets a great start at 9-11, but is not going to be anywhere near good enough. T-Bop goes straight into lead, completely uncontested as we are 3 and 4 wide going into turn 1. Astro holds on to P2, Zabs in P3. Tom has made a great start in that Nissan, trying to go around the outside for P4. Obi-Wan in the Jag is in P5 at the moment, challenging Tom for P4. As he's going to try and go up the inside, going through turn 4, unable to. In the background, we got Radiate and Anton having a moment, coming through turn 5. And as we come round to turn 6, NTO, excuse me, not Anton, a different person. NTO is up into P7 with Sir Tracy going up very late on the brakes and a very late dive up the inside into turn 9. Danger Mouse having a little bit of a moment as we come out onto the first of the back straights. So I'm going to stay back down here. I know there's some chaos going on, but just give me a moment. Kanata tries to get up the inside, ends up going over the grass. Danger's having another sideways moment. Gru is going to try and catch up. Sorry, we've got 3 Ferraris. It's going to be a bit interesting trying to keep a track of which Ferrari is which. Let's go onto the back straight. Obi-Wan uses the power and the acceleration of the Jag, which I'm driving this season, to come out of the hairpin, get in front of Tom. Is he going to be able to hold position as we come down this very, very long back straight? Obi-Wan defends the inside. Tom's going to try and get alongside. He's going to back out of it as we come through the very tricky section. Who's going to be the first one in Tier 4 to be claimed by the Wall of Champions? There it is. Yes, NTO was the first one to be claimed by the Wall of Champions in Tier 4. I'm glad it's NTO. We then got Sir Tracy in 8th, Radiate in 9th, Danger rounding off the top 10 at the moment. We then got Kanata in 11th, Matthew in 12th, Yuri in 13th, so great run by these guys at the back at the moment. Jez is in 14th, Gru's fighting D-Dubs for 15th at the moment. D-Dubs gets a great run out of turn 1, or turn 2, excuse me. Not quite able to get alongside, so D-Dubs going to have to duck in behind. T-Bot out in front, uncontested at the moment, so he's just got to keep it on the track and keep it together. Zabs now up into P2 in the Lexus, so the Lexus is going to be great for him. Excuse me, it's going to be great for him in the feature race. Big fuel tank, good on its fuel, maybe a little bit tricky on his tyres, but Astro's got pressure at the moment from Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan goes through, goes up into P3. We're going to jump on board with Astro. Obi-Wan holds the middle line. Astro doesn't defend, excuse me. Obi-Wan defends, opens up the corner, tries to get the acceleration out the corner, but you are not going to out-accelerate that Jag. That Jag just pulls away. But Obi-Wan into P3. He's on a right old move at the moment. Way 2 is in 6th in the Supra. What's going on a little bit further back? Danger, the other Jag, what can he do? Sir Tracy serves their penalty. Radiate gets in front. Danger's not quite able to, has to back out of it. As we come down the start-finish straight. Start lap number 3. Danger goes very much to the left. Tries to get a little bit of disposition going on a bit further back. Yuri's having a little go at Jezza. I've just seen it. Funny. Funny, Yuri. Funny, I see it. Appropriate as well, which I like. Let's stay going forward. Kanata is now getting involved in the battle for P10. As we've got many cars to look at. Radiate gets a little bit sideways as we come out onto this second straight. Danger on the outside. Kanata on the inside. Satorasi on the outside. Radiate on the inside. We're going not quite 2x2 into this funny little chicane. Good afternoon. / good evening, whichever one it is. Just behind Matthew's going to get involved very shortly. Radiate now loses out 2 positions, so Tracy's back up to 8th. Danger goes very late on the brakes. Does he manage to get that Jag stopped? Not quite. He goes just outside track limits, lights up the throttle, nearly takes out Kanata, manages to hold it. Kanata backs out of it, so Kanata's going to lose out a little bit of momentum, but Jag makes up the momentum with his great acceleration. Let's go back. Matthew, great run out of the hairpin, gets the job done on the run up to the Wall of Champions. Let's go up to the front. Let's check on the front runners quickly. So the gap's starting to open up to everyone. What's happened to Obi-Wan? So Obi-Wan's dropped down into 5th. Astro's back up into 3rd. Tom's back up into 4th. Way's now in 5th in that 6th, excuse me, in that Supra. It's quick down the straight. It's going to struggle a little bit in the mid sections, where it's a bit more twisty, especially this first bit. Bastards. Had a sight slide. Yep, fair enough. Sorry, I've just seen something on the back of some of the TVG drivers' cars, and they're getting it a bit more. Let's stay up here. Let's stay with this group, because this group seems to be a lot nicer to me over the TVG guys. So Tracy up into 9th. Alright, down into 9th. Radiate in 8th. Let's stay with this group. We're in the Sir Tracy train as Danger Mouse makes a little bit of contact with Sir Tracy. It does back off. Gives Sir Tracy back the position, so it's not a push to pass. Very good thing to see and good thing to do. Doesn't lose much time or position either as we come down the back straight. We're in. Sir Tracy is the conductor of this very long train at the moment. Coming into the final 2 corners. Anyone going to look? No. No one's brave on the brakes. Someone's quite close enough to make a move. Nobody gets caught up in the barriers either, going a bit further back. Yuri still behind Jezza. Gets a great run. No, Jezza to the outside. Yuri to the inside. Gets the move done, but Jezza now has the inside line. Is he going to keep it? He is going to keep the position. Yuri's going to try and outdrive and out-accelerate the Ferrari. Not going to work in the Mercedes. So Yuri's going to have to slot in behind for another couple of corners. What else is going on? Matthew doing a fantastic job at the moment. Kanata gets a great run. Has the inside line for the following corner. Completely side by side under the bridge. Late on the brakes, through goes Kanata. Matthews tried to get the switchback done, not quite able to this time, which is a shame for Matthew really. Going a bit further ahead, so Tracy doesn't get the run out that they're after as they are pushing Danger all the way to the white line. Danger has got nowhere left to go, so Danger finally up into P9. Going to use the acceleration of the Jaguar to try and pull away from the Lexus. Kanata's got a great exit with that 911. We're going to go a bit further forward. We're going to check on the rest of the pack. As NTO's got himself a half-second penalty for track limits. He needs to learn what the white line on the edge of the track means. Usually means the edge of the track, but some drivers, especially when they're French, like to go over it. Way 2 still in 6th, Obi-Wan still in 5th, Tom still in 4th, Astro still in 3rd, Zab still in 2nd, and T-Pop has absolutely disappeared. There is absolutely no contention right now. He can just sit and have a Sunday drive and he'd still probably win this race. Let's come back. Let's check the rest on pack. Way2's getting a little bit closer to the back of Obi-Wan. Not quite close enough to make a move though, but there could be a move coming into the hairpin if he gets the exit right. Let's jump on board. No, he's not quite close enough. It'd have to be a Daniel Ricciardo style lunge, which I don't think is going to happen. No. Let's go back through the rest of the grid. Radiator's got a half-second penalty. Managed to clear the back part of this pack, so that shouldn't affect him too much. Although he has got danger behind, who's going to see this penalty and gets a good run. He's going to try and get a good run. Now coming back. So Tracy's still in 10th. Kanata still in 11th. Matthew still in 12th. Jezza still in 13th, holding off Yuri, who's way too far back at the moment. M-Groove's in 15th. And then D-Dubs is just bringing up the rear, going a bit further forward. Matthew pressures Kanata. Kanata offsets. That is a great move as Kanata and Matthew are now side by side as they come down the start-finish straight. And that was an absolute textbook move of a switchback into the final corner. Deep and late on the brakes goes Matthew through turn 1. As we get into turn 2, that was an absolutely wonderful move. I want to go back and watch that one again. So this started all back here on the back straight, gets alongside, backs out and brakes a little bit later. Kanata leaves space, which then makes him really slow through the chicane. We're going to watch this from Jez's point of view. It was a fantastic move. Matthew's still alongside, going through turn 1, lets the brakes off a little bit, lets the car run, and Kanata falls down to 12th. At the moment, that is the move of the race. 100% that is the move of the race so far. Absolute fantastically clean. Well respected between both drivers as well. Right, let's go a bit further forward. Let's check on the pack up ahead. What's going on? Way2 closing in on the back of Obi-Wan. Way2 not able to get out of that hairpin anywhere near as well as Obi-Wan. He's going to have to rely on the toe, which ain't going to do that much to him, especially now we're halfway down the back straight. Let's come back to this group. I know I'm spending a lot of time down this group, but it's kind of where the action is at the moment. There's not too much else going on around the pack. We're going to come back to Yuri, who's managed to drop down into 15th, a worthy position of his talents, may I just say. No, I'm joking, Yuri. You're not too bad. He gets another half-second penalty. Yeah, nothing going on in the front. Yeah, look. There's your front runner. And then 7 centuries behind is these two. Well, mind you, Astro, you're catching up to the back of Zab, so we'll probably end up staying here for a little bit. Let's stay here for a little bit, because we're not really giving the front runners much time and attention. Let's jump on board for a little bit. Over those curbs. Zab a little bit unstable coming out, but keeps it all together, keeps it nice and smooth. This has changed. When did this happen? Sorry, let me go back. Because something happened up front. I know, unheard of in a race like this. So Way2 really close to the back of Obi-Wan now. Obi-Wan holds the inside line going through turn 2, but goes wide. This opens the door very open wide for Way2, for who has now got the inside as we come up to turn 3. Obi-Wan's going to try and hold it around the outside, not able to make it work. So Way2 goes up ahead into P5, excuse me. Obi-Wan down to P6. Now the Jags, you've got to be careful coming out of that corner. You want to put the power down, but you can't. You've got to be very... Jedi mind tricks, yeah. So I'm looking at the liveries now, and I'm starting to see things on the liveries, and it's really cool to see. Lovely looking liveries this season. Some really good looking ones. I mean, even up front, even the 911s with the red and the white, lovely looking liveries. It's Astro using all of the road and a little bit more, nearly kissing the barrier on the exit. Is he going to be able to pressure as we come up to what I'm going to refer to as death chicane by the wall of death? He's close, but he's not close enough to make a move. Zab has got a very good straight line run in that Lexus. That's not going to help you, Astro. So there goes Zab. He's going to have to build up another lapse of momentum to get back up to the back of that Lexus. 2 corners ahead, though, is T-Bop. Absolutely miles and miles ahead. Let's come back a little bit. Let's check on the rest of the pack near the back of the grid. Radiator is still in a very lonely 8th position. Danger is in 9th, opening up that gap to us. Don't bother looking at you. What have you done? You never... You need to learn this. You never tell me not to look at something because I just go and look. That's a good place to start. Nothing yet. Okay, fair enough. Let's go towards the back of the grid. D-Dubs. Keeping up on the back. Struggling and maybe struggling a little bit with that McLaren. Yuri in 15th. Wait for feature. Okay, fair enough. Yuri in 15th. Mgru in 14th. Jez is in 13th. Chasing down Kanata now, who's in 12th. Matthews in 11th. Potentially might try and chase down Sir Tracy for 10th. If Matthew can get a reverse pole in that Ferrari, that'll put him in a very good position. That might be a penalty. I just spotted that. Although Bout for 10th is now going to have to wait as he's had to lift out of it so he doesn't get a penalty. Kanata's going to try and capitalise. We're going to go back from Jez's point of view to get a much better angle. What's TBG stand for? To be good, maybe, I don't know. I'll have to ask Spin, who... I'll ask Spin at some point. I'll let you know in the next round. Kanata gets a great move done at the hairpin. Keeps the inside line. Matthew tries to out-accelerate him. Unable to, as we now go through the final chicane for the penultimate time as we're going to start the last lap. Sir Tracy's got a half-second penalty. Now, that's going to be costly. Kanata sees that, strikes straight away. Tries to go up the inside going into turn 1. Keeps it nice and tight for 2. Matthew goes a little bit wide, but opens up the corner. Kanata gets a fantastic run as he comes out of 2. He's almost completely alongside. He's going to have to send it up the inside. And through he goes. Through goes Kanata. He's going to hold P10 primarily, but clubbers the wall in the exit. Sir Tracy's going to try and counter-attack. Sir Tracy does counter-attack. Goes around the outside of 6. Now up on the inside for 7. There's still more contact between the pair of them. Matthew's just behind these two. He's going to have to see what he can pull out of his magic box of tricks. Jetson nearly goes back into the back of his teammate. Pulls out of it. Kanata has the inside line. Is he going to try and set up the inside? No. Sir Tracy breaks very late. Swings around the outside. Gets the move done. Back up into P10. But Kanata and Matthew are close enough to strike when Tracy has got them to serve the half-second penalty. But we're going to come back to that in just a moment. T-Bot, who has been absolutely uncontested since lap 1. His lead started about 20 metres after the finish line, and he's been uncontested since. Over the line for P1 comes T-Bot. Zab's going to get P2. Astro in P3. Tom's going to get P4. Way2's going 5th. Obi-Wan's in 6th. NTO's in 7th, finishing in French style as always, which is lovely to see. Radiates in 8th. Danger's in 9th. Now, I'm going to come back, as I said, I'm going to come back and watch this. Let's jump back and watch it from this point of view. Straight. Oh, so Tracy breaks very, very late, goes very wide. This means Kanata goes straight up into 10th position. Matthew's now in the back of Kanata's slipstream. Sir Tracy keeps trying to push that car to the right, trying to get into the slipstream himself. Matthew goes ahead, just gets ahead. Penalty serve. Whoa! So Tracy nearly clips the back of Jezza. Through Death Chicane we go. Kanata doesn't get the good run he's after, but it's going to be... Oh, he does get an okay run, actually. It's going to be enough, though. Kanata gets 10th. Matthews in 11th. Jez is in 12th. Sir Tracy gets 13th. No, 14th. Mgru gets 13th. Sir Tracy 14th. Yuri 15th. And D-Dubs 16th. That was a very entertaining sprint. I actually quite liked that one. It should have... I need to do this as well. There we go. So I can keep track of... You're still trying to... Oh my God. Right, so the feature. Now, the feature here, the one stop, what we all thought until Eli in my tier did something that changed everything. The one stop was probably going to be one of the most powerful. But the pit lane here for just tyres isn't that long. It's only about 12 or 13 seconds. So the two stop is possible, but you have to be blisteringly quick, and it's also quite tricky to pass here. So the two stop is open for drivers, although they have to be quick and they have to get past people efficiently. I've got my own views on that. I'm not going to say them because it's been dealt with, moving, and I'm going to move on. Now, you can get the mediums to last about, what was it, 13, 14 laps? No, probably 14, 15, and then the softs can do about 10 laps. So probably from lap 15 onwards, I'm expecting 14 to 16, I'm expecting the medium runners to come in to go to softs. Where was I? Naughty boy. I'd say aggressive defense, and yeah, I'm just going to say I defended position because it was second. It was lap 25, 26, P6. So was it P7 or P8? P8, 7 I was in. I feel I defended within the rules. Stewarts feels otherwise. End of the day, the puck finishes at the Stewarts. I ain't going to argue with their decision. That's what Stewarts have got to go by the rule book. So will we all. I might have slightly overstepped the line in their view. In my view, I think I was quite fair and reasonable, but it's racing. It happens. It's round one. So, going back to tier 4 race. Kanata's on the mediums, Danger's on the mediums, Radiate's on the mediums, NTO is on the softs. So, NTO could be doing either the soft medium or the soft medium, 1 or 2 stop. So, NTO's got the option available to him. Obi-Wan's on the mediums, Way 2 is on the softs as well. Now, that's a surprise. P6 on the softs. I can understand P4, try and push through the grid. That is a bit of a surprise. So Way 2, keep an eye on you. That's going to be an interesting one. Tom on the mediums, Astro on the mediums, Zab's on the mediums, T-Bop's on the mediums as well. Matthew, Jezza, Gru, Sir Tracy, Yuri, and D-Dubs all on the mediums. So there's only 2 soft runners. Right, so let's get cracking. What cars are left in the... Oh, Tracy, careful. As Sir Tracy lights up the tyres, Yuri's going to already gain a position before we even hit the start-finish line. So, Sir Tracy lights up the rear tyres, going a bit further back. Obi-Wan being aggressively pushed. I won't say aggressively pushed, sorry, I just want to... So I just want to go... Okay, NTO was ahead. No, fine, I just wanted to double check that I had that right. So Obi-Wan had a much better start. NTO falling asleep at the racing wheel. Already under pressure from Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan up the inside of turn 1. Now to be the outside of 2, gets a little bit of a push from Way 2. And through goes Way 2. That could... you could argue that would be a push to pass, but again... See if that... Was that reported in the stewards room? You'll have to let me know if that was reported in the stewards room. If it was...
Certainly possible, but just a handful in ALR could do that. If people did it, very impressive.
Eli did it. Eli definitely did it. As we're going to go a bit further forward, Danger Mouse trying to get up the inside of Radiate. NTO's just behind as well. NTO needs to clear these guys really, really quickly to utilise his soft tyres. Danger Mouse goes up the inside as they're both... No, I didn't report it. No, fair enough. You could argue that was a push to pass because of the way he made contact with you, and he was... Is he asleep with the tyre? Yeah, he could be. NTO goes very, very much up the inside of Radiate. Radiate now down to P4. Obi-Wan still in P5. Way 2's dropped back. He's dropped back behind Obi-Wan. Okay, so if you guys sorted it out on track, fair enough. Let's come back through the pack for a moment. T-Bop already up into P9 as we've got cars going two wide coming up into the Death Chicane. NTO now under pressure from Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan goes through on the Death Chicane. Another fantastic move as... Oh! Haha! Christmas has come early. Where is he? Let's come back and decipher this. So... Did NTO have a penalty or something? Was he just really slow? Okay, he's fuel saving. Okay, that makes sense. So everyone backs off, then and gets back completely alongside NTO. NTO now on the outside. Oh dear, has a huge snap of oversteer. And it gets it gets clobbered by T4B. So NTO now down in the back of the pack. Yuri's in 15th, D-Dubs is in 14th. Our race winner last round is all the way down in 13th. What happened to you? You were... Oh, that's what happened to you. A big snap of oversteer, a little bit of contact as we come through the final corner and then collision with NTO. So Sir Tracy now up down into P12. A half-second penalty. Gr3 looking at diving up the inside of Matthew, who's in P10. Matthew holds P10 at the moment, has the inside for turn 2. So Gr3 back down into 11th. Jezza up into 9th. Zabs in 8th. Astro up into 7th. Tom in 6th position in the GTR with Way in 5th. Obi-Wan in 4th. Radiate up into 3rd. Where's the first soft runner? Way 2 is the first soft runner. They're doing well. They just need to be pushing a little. Well, I say pushing. They need to be managing the tyres to make sure they get to lap 10. And they also need to be making a little bit of progress. Otherwise, they've just lost any advantage that they have had. So, Way 2 gets a bit closer to Obi-Wan. Not going to be quite close enough. Astro got a half-second penalty. He's now going to try and go around the outside of Tom at the hairpin. Tom's going to keep the inside line. Astro can't quite get the switchback, can't get the power down quick enough. He's got a half-second penalty to come, so it's not really going to be a move past this time around. So we come down the back straight, pulls out to the side, tries to keep as much momentum as possible, ducks back into the slipstream. He might be susceptible. No, he's not going to be susceptible, but Zab's now going to be in the slipstream of Astro ahead of him. Let's go a bit further forward. Anything going up on the heads? No, not really. This is going to be the closest one. Way 2 tries to go around the outside and then the inside of Obi-Wan. Way 2 very much later on the brakes, keeps the inside line, sends it into turn 2. So Way 2 up into P4, Obi-Wan down to P5 at the moment. Let's go back a little bit. Matthew in 9th, Jez is in 10th. T-Bop's recovering up to 11th. So So great drive at the moment, trying to pick up the positions in that AMG. Mgru in 12th, Deep Dubs in 13th, Yuri with a half-second penalty in 14th, NTO is in 15th, and then Sir Tracy, excuse me, not having the best of opening couple of laps. With a 1 second, where did you pick up that? Oh, it's a half-second penalty picked up by another half-second penalty. I'm curious though, where did you pick up a second half-second penalty? There it is. Complete corner cut. Okay, there it is. We found it. So Kanata out front at the moment. In control of this race. We'll try and put the hammer down just a little bit. That Porsche doing wonders at the moment. Terrible starts, but once you get the car going, it's a great car to be driving from what I hear. Dangers in P2 gets a little bit wide, misses the second part of that apex at the hairpin, but the acceleration from that Jag is going to save him a little bit of time. Way 2 with a half-second penalty. When his soft tyres, it's going to pull him into the back of Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan might even be able to get past. There's the penalty. There goes Obi-Wan with the overspeed. Here comes Way 2. Tom, not quite close enough to make a move. Had the overspeed though, but not quite close enough. So Way 2's going to have to redo the pass that he did a lap or so ago. Not quite able to get alongside Obi-Wan. Is he going to go for a late move? No, he's not going to go for a late move. He's going to slot him behind at the moment. The Jaguar was looking in a very good position, but the 911's in probably just as good.
Yeah, Porsche's 8-bit sad to see everyone pass at the standing starts, but it is what it is.
It is. If it had a little bit of a better standing start, I'd love to drive the car. But we're going to come back forward just a moment. Obi-Wan doing a fantastic job holding up Way 2 on his soft tyres. Radiate trying to get the switch back on Danger. Danger using the Jag's acceleration to fire out of the corner, going down the second straight as we go under the bridge. Now these guys fighting is going to allow Kanata to pull away. Oh dear. What happened to you?
Great acceleration on that Jag.
Yeah, it's a monster coming out the corners. It's a bit of a handful. Oh, speaking of handfuls. So Tracy loses it and then smashes it into the other wall. Oh no. So Tracy's not having the best of first races here in Tier 4. Let's go back through the rest of the grid. I'm going to stay up here just for a moment. Yeah, the Jag's got absolutely phenomenal acceleration. It's a bit of a pig trying to get out of the slow corners and trying to get it to turn. Oh my god, that was a lunge with an L.
EFF, who would lose the car there? I would never. Does that have to be patient on that throttle?
Yeah, you have to, just a second, I'll answer that in just a moment. Ooh, Obi-Wan very, very late up on the brakes. This allows Way 2 to go straight through. Radiates on, it's still on the outside. Obi-Wan's trying to give the position back. It's given the position back. Astro's now going to try and capitalise. Unable to capitalise. Obi-Wan's going to hold the racing line, going to slot back into the slipstream of the car ahead. Unlucky and very, very unfortunate to Radiate. Obi-Wan very, very late on the brakes. Tries to get the car to stop. Astro goes through for a move on the final corner as well, so great move from Astro. But the two that capitalise the most is Way 2 and Tom. Both go through, and one of them is a soft tyre runner. Well, on lap 5, his tyres are actually looking very good for lap 5. Very, very good for lap 5, and bear in mind, he spent pretty much the whole race stuck behind cars. Now coming a bit further back, let's look towards the further back of the field. Matthew in 8th. T4B in 9th, Jez is in 10th, Gr3 is in, or Gru, excuse me, is in 11th, Zab's in 12th. What on earth happened to you? That is something I missed. D-Dub's 13th, NTO in 14th, Yuri in 15th, and then bringing up the rear is the other Lexus driver who's had the same moment and nearly smashed into the same wall. Comes around for 16th. Kanata at the moment in the lead. So yeah, answering your question from a lap ago. Oh, way to get very, very close on the brakes. Very close on the brakes. Yeah, answering your question, Jack, you've got to be a bit patient with it. It accelerates beautifully. It flies itself out the corner wonderfully, as both Danger and everyone are showing when they're trying to defend coming out the corner. They just rely on the acceleration of the car. But it's because it's an FR car. I feel it understeers a little bit. The rear end gets a little bit tail happy when you get to a couple of corners time actually. When you get to a certain particular corners, you need to get the foot down, you need to get the power down. I feel you have to short shift to try and keep the traction, try and get as much traction as possible. I think with this car, having traction is better than having power in certain applications. So this corner coming up here, you really want to be start to really feed the power in. But look at Danger, he was half, then full. So if you go full power like T4B is, you're just going to slide. So that Jag you've got to be a little bit patient with. Now, what has happened to you? You said don't look at me, and I have now found you, and I have found the mistake you have made.
Hello, Gunman.
Hello, Jack. So, Astro making the same mistake as Sir Tracy did a couple of laps ago, crashing into a wall, I think. Hang on, let me get my YouTube back up. Sorry, let me get my YouTube back up, because I think I need to... So, Mr. Who would lose the car there, what have you done then? So, Astro eating his own words from a few moments ago of saying, who would lose the car there? I would never. Sarcasm at its finest, I love it. So, Astro now challenging Jezza for P10. Zab getting very close to the back of Gr3 in P12. NCO in 13th. T-Tub's 14th. Yuri 15th. Sir Tracy still going. I've got to give Sir Tracy a bit of some respect here. And a little bit of a keep going, because they are having a terrible race. Every time I come to them, they have got a penalty of some description, and they are still going. Please keep going, please. It'd be so good to see you finish this. But coming back up front, Danger in second, now under pressure from Way 2 in third, who's on the soft tyres, who is from lap 7 is still in a really good shape. But Danger struggling to get the power down as we come through for 4 and 5, now through turn 6 as we come up to turn 7. Danger defends the inside line. Way 2 backs out of it wisely, so sets the car up as best as they can for the following corner, scrapes the wall, but Danger has a little bit of a slide as well, so they both kind of cancel each other out. Danger uses the acceleration of the Jag just to pull away a little bit under the bridge. The acceleration of that Jag still showing how well that car can drive, even on medium tyres as well. Way 2's going to have to try something different with Danger. He's going to have to try something completely different to try and get past that Jaguar, not focus out the corners. Maybe try and go into them, or even try and go through the corner section. Tom's just behind as well. Look at the gap Danger has managed to open up through coming out of the hairpin. The acceleration of the Jaguar really obvious there. as we come through Death Chicane. Under the brakes, Way 2 is much better and more confident under the brakes. Let's check on the rest of the pack. Radiate and P5 starting to close in on the top 4 at the moment. Tom getting quite close to the back of Way 2 as well. We're kind of getting to the point where those soft tyres are starting to get a little bit slower than maybe some of the medium runners. So, ooh, Danger goes wide. This might be the opening Way 2's been after. Let's jump on board. He gets a good run, but Danger gets a much better run. Danger just holds on for a moment, opens that gap just a little bit, but not enough for any problems to be over and dealt with. Danger a little bit sideways as we come out towards the hairpin. Way 2 trying his absolute best. Defends the inside from Tom. Tom tries to go around the outside, opens the corner, gets a later apex, but his teammate takes him out. Oh dear. Oh no, his teammate takes him out as Tom was setting himself up ready to try and pass the Supra. Radiate gives the position back. I'm guessing he's going to apologise to his teammate at the end. So they sort it out themselves on track. Let's drop back a little bit. Obi-Wan still in 6th. Matthew catching up to the back of Obi-Wan. So is our sprint race winner T4B, who sets the fastest lap of the race at the moment. So T4B closing in on the back of Matthew. Obi-Wan gets the corner a little bit wide. Matthew tries to stick his nose up the inside, unable to. Obi-Wan, again, in a Jaguar, uses the acceleration of the Jag to keep himself up ahead at the moment. T4B all over the back of Matthew, not able to try and drive it around the outside of 6. Sets the car up through 7. Tries to get down to the back straight. That's what happens to the Jag if you get a little bit too eager on the throttle. T4B catches it nicely though, just a little slide in the end. Let's go back and check on the rest of the group. Jezzo in P9, Astro in 10th, being chased down by Zab, who's in 11th. So we've got another group of 3, and just behind is M Group in 12th. We then got NTO, Yuri and D-Dubs in 13th, 14th and 15th. Yuri, is he going to be able to get one over on NTO? Let's find out, shall we? NTO gets a great exit. Yuri struggles for a little bit of traction, but keeps close enough. Let's see what my former teammate can do. Now, Yuri and I have driven this car for a couple of seasons. Yuri dips to the inside, is completely alongside as we get up into the final corner. NTO keeps it wide. Yuri takes the curb, slams it into the wall of champions. Down he goes, so it's unlucky for Yuri. Good try. But going further up ahead, the 2 teammates, NTO and D-Dubs, side by side as we come into turn 1. NTO on the outside, which then turned into the inside, but D-Dubs gets the drive done. NTO on the soft tyres, looking a little bit worse for wear, having a huge slide coming out of turn 2. This allows Yuri to get back up behind him again. NTO completely sideways as we come through this twisty section coming out of the first sector. He defends the inside. Yuri has to try and go a little bit wider, almost goes into the wall. As both these suit drivers losing a little bit of traction on the rear, pushing on and pushing hard. We're going to come back up front in just a moment. Now, because these 2 are fighting, look at D-Dubs, he's just pulled away from these 2. NTO doing a great job holding up Yuri. NTO late and deep on the brakes. This allows Yuri to get much closer. NTO holds the speed around the outside of the hairpin. as we come down the back straight. Way 2's come in on the end of lap 10. Surely NTO is going to be coming in on lap 10 too. NTO holds to the left. Yuri gives him a push. I think he realises he's going to come in. Yeah, you think he has known. So in comes NTO. Let's go a bit further up ahead. Astro launches himself up the inside. Let's go back and have a little look at that. Wow. That was so close to the wall on the exit. Astro, using every millimetre of track, gets a run of a lifetime, goes up the inside of Jezza. Very, very clean pass. Jezza can't do too much about it. It's going to try and stick it to the back of Astro. Both their tyres are looking actually identical. Astro giving that wall on the outside the kiss from the Porsche. You shaved that paint properly. I think there's probably there's about half a pixel between your car and that wall, I think. Not even that. So, further up ahead, D-Bot, P7, Matthew and P6. Both these two are... Even close to the wall, would you... No, not at all. You can fit a London bus in that gap. Speaking of London buses in gaps, T-Bot nearly hits the wall. Go a bit further up ahead. Obi-Wan's in 5th. Tom's in 4th. Radiate's now up into 3rd. So these two have had a position swap recently. Danger in 2nd. Managed to pull a nice, comfortable gap to the two GTRs. Kanata still leading us down the road. Right, way 2 come out onto the medium tyres. Come out just ahead of Sir Tracy. So Tracy unfortunately has another penalty. NTO, oh dear, NTO's got a 3-second penalty. Has come out right down at the back of the pack. Put full tyres on the mediums. Doing the alternate strategy could get him up a little bit higher once these guys start to pit. But once these guys pit, these guys will be on the soft tyres, and it's going to be very hard for NTO to try and keep his position. He's going in the same spot I was in, actually. I tried the alternate strategy and see how much you can survive. Tom back ahead of Radiate. So two GTR drivers are swapping around position. Oh no. Oh no. Not another one. Oh, just kisses the grass on the entry to turn, I think it's turn 3 and 4. Keeps it, just about keeps it out of the wall as well. Well, I'll give you 10 out of 10 for styling, but I'm going to have to deduct you because you did hit the wall at the end, so I'm going to have to give you 7 out of 10 for execution. So Astro now in 8th, sees T-Rock's going to be a big smile on that. He did it for style points. Unfortunately, style points don't give you many seconds on the road. If they did, I'd be drifting everywhere, I think. Now, Astro, that is a wall. That wasn't quite so gracious as the last time I saw you near a wall. Now, let's go back up ahead. Matthews caught up to the back of... Well, catch up to the back of this pack up just up ahead of him. Maybe not quite in slipstream range. Everyone is in slipstream range, closing in on the back of the first GTR.
Oh, you didn't see that.
No, I didn't see. No, I definitely didn't. I think I need to go to the Specsavers and get my ice checked. Matthew, half-second penalty as well as Tom as well for track limits. I'm guessing for the final corner. Radiate has a little look down the inside of his teammate. These two have got to be a little bit careful. If these two fight too much, they're going to start ruining their race. I think it'd be better for these two to just work together. They're both setting the same lap times as well. There's not really that much difference in them. So at this point, it might actually be in Radiate's benefit to maybe try and hold up Obi-Wan a little bit. So if he can back up Obi-Wan, which is going to be very hard to do considering the power of that Jag, as that is just being demonstrated right now. Through goes Obi-Wan, great traction coming out of that chicane onto the back straight. Through he goes. Position gained before even the braking zone as well. So Obi-Wan's now clear to go and try and chase down Tom. loves that power, I bet you do. Radiate defends the middle of the track. Obi-Wan tries to outpower the GTR. It's both got about the same sort of exit, but Matthew's got that half-second penalty, which is going to hinder him a little bit. Obi-Wan could potentially sniff a third position here. He's got the overspeed. As he's now side by side with Tom as we come into the final corner. Tom has to go over the curbs. Obi-Wan, there was nearly a spin behind us. Obi-Wan keeps it a bit smoother, but has to keep a little bit of power just to keep that Jag stable. Relies on the acceleration, gets closer, tries to go around the outside. Not quite able to drive around the outside, so Tom holds third for the moment. Radiate's still in fourth. Matthew's still not far behind these guys either. Coming back a couple of cars. We've got Astro, got past Jezza obviously a few laps ago. Jezza still on the back of Astro. Zab is now going to try and get past Jezza. Was that a car I saw backwards? No, it wasn't a car I saw backwards. Yuri sends it up the inside of Sir Tracy. Sir Tracy trying to get the undercut on Yuri, not able to. NTO still in the background, slowly picking up the pace, slowly catching up to the back of the pack. Yuri knowing what a move looks like and knowing how to make one, which is great to see. So up into P14. Way 2 on his medium tyres, still in 13th, trying to catch up to the back of the pack. Oh, I say back of the pack, trying to catch up to the next driver on the track, which is D-Dubs, who's in P12 at the moment. Groove's in 11th. Zab's in 10th position, not quite close enough as Jezza brakes very, very late. Nearly goes up into the back of Astro, Jezza keeps the power down, keeps the speed up around the corners, just keeps himself ahead. Although he is under pressure now. I need a drink. That Ferrari is quick down a straight. Oh my god. The Lexus not quite able to get close enough to the back of that Ferrari to make it, maybe try and make a move or pressure a move. So Jezza opens up that gap to Zab, starting to close in on the back of Astro, who's in P8. T-Bob's in 7th, pulling away from that group. Matthews up the road in 6th, now putting Radiate under pressure, who's in 5th. Everyone's caught up to the back of Tom as well. So I've got 2 battles here to keep an eye on. Radiate gets those couple of corners wrong. This might be Matthews' opening he wants. Not quite, maybe. Swings back across, tries to get into the slipstream. Radiate keeps the position at the moment. What happened to Obi-Wan there? There you go. That's the problem with the Jag. Obi-Wan just demonstrated it. Lovely form. Thank you very much, mate. So Obi-Wan is a little bit too happy on the throttle. Keeps the, and the car just not quite being as forgiving as maybe some other cars. The Jaguar, you kind of got to drive it in a very, very particular way. You've got to be patient, gentle, and rough with it almost. It's a very, very odd combination.
Carried away low.
Yeah, you did get carried away a little bit. It's fine. It happens. Right, who comes into pit? That doesn't. Danger doesn't. Danger could. We're at the point now where the softs can definitely do the distance, and Danger could have undercut it there. Tom doesn't. Obi-Wan doesn't. Matthew does. Matthew's after the undercut at the moment. T-Bot comes in as well. Radiate. So the top 5 stay out. Zab comes in. Astro stays out. Jezza Jezza, we need to have a word, mate. Oh, hang on. When did that happen? Right, so the time I leave these guys, again, seems to be action happens. Action is coming. So Astro, Jezza gets really, really close to the back of Astro. Both of them nearly collide. Zab capitalizes on these two being slow, so through goes Zab. Now let's carry on. Yeah, Jezza, we need to have a discussion, mate. So he lifts off. Okay. Alright, okay, I'll forgive you. And I will forgive you, and I know exactly why. Because Astro goes on. So Astro goes on, he's got to slow down. He's doing about 70 miles an hour. Zab's doing 150. There is a significant difference of speed in there. Yeah, so that is just really unfortunate. Astro's going to carry on. Zab's going into pit. Jezza, it can't really see that Astro's coming into pit, so this isn't really Jezza's fault. Because he is blinded by...
See the loudly crying face.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, Jezza, my apologies. This isn't your fault. We don't need to have a discussion. You know how to drive. That is just unfortunate. Through goes D-Dubs, who nearly collects him as well. So that's kind of just put Jezza's race, I wouldn't say down the drain, but not far off it. His teammate, as I have a brain aneurysm halfway through comms, his teammate, on the other hand, is not doing too bad.
My pit entry is much better.
Your pit entry is much better. Alright, I'll keep an eye out for it. Now, T-Bop manages to get past, Matthew in the pits. And bear in mind, T-Bop came in a lot later. So, both these drivers out on the softs. Way 2 is just up the road on the mediums. So, he could be net P1 at the moment. I don't think he will be. Right, sorry, I'm just catching up on a couple of bits. So, let's go through. Who's going to pit? Surely these two. Danger could... Yeah. Yeah, Matthew pits. Matthew fucking Kanata pits. Danger pits. Obi-Wan pits. Tom pits. Radiate pits. Now, what does Astro do? Oh! Full speed into the barrier. Through goes Gru. I tell you what, that is commitment. That is commitment on another level. So, wait 2. Haven't done the alternate strategy. It goes up into P2. Kanata comes out. He's already done his stuff. He's at turn 1. He's at turn 2 now. Danger coming out as well.
Send it low.
You can send it. You just got to do a little bit of a brake, a little bit of a lift. Right. Okay. We need to come back because I need to see it from T-Bop's point of view of what happens. So T-Bop on the fresh rubber, but everyone else is on 1 lap younger rubber. Radiate kind of comes in. T-Bop kind of tries to come out. They're now side by side coming down towards turn 3. T-Bop's up ahead. Radiate falls down behind, so Radiate now down to 6. T-Bop up into P5. The undercut for T-Bop has worked very, very well. He has got the pace to potentially really contend here for podium. Even, I wouldn't say the win because Kanata is just way down the road, but definitely for podium. Danger in P2. He's got way 2 just behind him in P3. But on 1 mediums. So this will be interesting. Tom already under pressure from the Mercedes driver. I'll check through the rest of the grid in a moment. Tom defends the inside. T-Bop tries to go around the outside. Very late on the brakes, both of them. Does T-Bop get the switch back? No, he decides and elects to stick out wide. Carry the speed. He swings out to the left. Tom's going to have to go to the right. Tom squeezes him to the wall, but it's not going to be quite enough. Both of them give each other a little bit of room as they're going to try and go side by side through the final chicane. Tom's got the racing line. Oh dear. Let's watch this from Tom's point of view. Does that curb unsettle him? Yeah, the curb oh no, it's really unfortunate for Tom. So the curb unsettles him. He's got a horrible time trying to rejoin. It's going to be the best gap he's got. So Tom, with a really unfortunate complete unbalance going over the curb, slams it into the wall. So Zab's in P8, Obi-Wan's in 7th, Matthews in 6th, T-Bop's in 5th after now being lack of momentum. Here comes Radiate. Radiate's going to get back past from the position he was passed from over a lap ago. Fires it into turn 1, keeps the position. So going a bit further up the road. Danger's still doing what he needs to do. He just needs to stay ahead and stay on the racing line now. Way 2's tyres will eventually drop. Danger doesn't need to push too much. Needs to make sure that those tyres can last to the end. Let's go to the back of the grid. We haven't looked at the back of the grid for a little while. So Tracy, still running, still going. Well done. I'm glad. I'm really genuinely quite glad to see you still going, and it's good to see you without a penalty for once. Yuri in 15th. Jezza with that really unfortunate pit entry in 14th. Astro, not knowing what a steering wheel does, is in 13th. NTO's in at 12th. Now starting to struggle a little bit on his mediums with 2 soft runners behind him. We got his teammate D-Dubs in 11th. M-Crew just up ahead in P10. Tom, after that unfortunate incident with the sausage curbs on the final corner. I know. Tom with the unfortunate incident in the final corner in P9. Zab's in 8th. Obi-Wan's in 7th. Matthews in 6th. Radiate's in 5th, being passed again by T-Bob, who's now in 4th. He's going to start chasing down the top 3, excuse me, with Way 2 in 3rd. On the mediums, the gap is closed a fair amount. Danger's in 2nd. Like I said earlier, all he's got to do is just keep that car on the road, take care of the tyres, and he'll be okay. Not push it too much. Kanata has been in complete control of this race, as I think he's led every single lap at the moment. So great drive done by Kanata at the moment. We're going to stick here for a couple of laps. Or laps? No, a couple of corners. Let's see what happens. T-Bop, yeah, we're going to stay here. Because T-Bop is on an absolute mission. Is he going to lunge it? He's going to send it up the inside from way back. Up the inside. Keeps it clean. Way 2 sees it coming. Allows the space. And up goes T-Bop up into P3, so he's up onto the podium. Now, after not the best of starts, down in P13, P14 at one point on lap 19, he's up to P3, makes a defensive move to the middle, comes back across onto the racing line to get the braking point right, has a little bit of a slide. That doesn't matter. Way 2 on the mediums in the Supra, has got good straight line speed, but I don't think he's going to be able to get close enough. T-Bot being on the softs, excuse me, is just going to start pulling away. He's got much stronger braking power. Be careful with the push. Way doesn't capitalise on that little push, sticks back and backs off. Now Way was in a very similar position to what I was in. I was up near the top, surrounded by soft runners. Let's see what he does. Let's see what happens to him as well. Radiate, the next one behind. Matthews in 6th, Obi-Wan's in 7th, Zav is in 8th at the moment. Let's go back through the rest of the grid. Let's make sure. D-Dub's dropping off the back a little bit of Gru. Astro's in 12th. Opening up a large gap to Enthio, who's in 13th. With Jezza just behind in 14th, Yuri in 15th. So these guys all looking at potentially getting past NTO shortly. Jezza will be being the first one. Oh no, another penalty. But it's good to see the fact that you're catching up to the back of the pack. Let's stay up here. Let's stay with the top three. Actually, no, we're going to come back a little bit. Matthew has been busy. We're going to come back a couple of corners. Radiate versus Way 2 as we come up into the hairpin. Matthew finds a gap and he makes it work. Radiate lights up the rear tyres, going round the hairpin. Loses a little bit of time. Is he going to lose time to Obi-Wan? Obi-Wan's going to be close enough to make a move. Way 2 goes right to the right hand side. Matthew comes to the left. He's got good straight line speed, but not maybe quite enough to get along completely alongside that Supra. The Supra takes the lead going through here. Gets the corner slightly wrong. Through goes Matthew. Obi-Wan now alongside Radiate. Tries to box in Radiate. Radiate gives Way 2 a push. Obi-Wan's now up into 6th position. Here comes Zab as well. So Radiate down into 7th. Zab's now in 8th position. He's going to get involved. He's going to want to look at gaining a position or two out of this. A load of dust being kicked up by cars up ahead. Radiate in 7th, losing the back of Obi-Wan, who a little bit... Oh, whoa. Where's that from? I'm not sure about that. That was never going to work, I will admit. If you're a little bit close, if you were this close, yeah, go for it. But being that close never works. I'm sorry, but... Right, let's see what Radiate can do this time. He's somehow managed to out-traction and out-drive Obi-Wan as he comes out of that chicane, coming up into the hairpin. Doesn't make a lunge and a dive for it this time. Obi-Wan slightly messes up the hairpin. Goes a little bit wide, but it's going to put the power down a little bit earlier. Get good traction out the hairpin. Fires it down the back straight. So Matthew's managed to clear Way 2 quite comfortably. Going further up ahead, T-Bob now putting up danger on, just a lot of pressure for P2. As we're starting lap 22 of 26. Coming up to the closing stages of this race. Who's got what tile left? Further up ahead, Kanata starting to pull away a little bit after these two start fighting. Let's just double check the rest of the pack at the moment. Everyone's gone a little bit wide again, but powers his way out of turn 2. Thompson in 9th now, losing a little bit of time to Emgru, who's in 10th. D-Dub still in 11th. Way a little bit further back is Astro in 12th. Jez is in 13th. Yuri's in 14th. Antio's dropped down into 15th. Now going to be under pressure potentially from Sir Tracy, who's in 16th. It'd be good to see Sir Tracy getting up through out of last position. And we're going to come back up here, and I'm glad I did. Danger gets the corner a little bit wrong, but T-Bob gets a good exit, but not quite good enough to get close and alongside. He's got to be a little bit careful for his front and left. It's a little bit worse than Danger's.
Tracy bringing it backfire.
I know. I'm rooting for him a little bit now. He's had a horrible feature race, an absolutely horrible feature race, and here he comes. He's going to try and go up the inside, going under the bridge. As they're side by side through one of the chicanes as we come firing out down to the hairpin. NTO stays ahead at the moment. Oh, don't do that, don't go onto the grass. So Tracy breaks late, goes wide, NTO goes back through. So Tracy tries to make the move, was initially up to 15th for a moment, then drops back down to 16th, so gets a good run. Now in the slipstream. We're going to stay here. I don't care about the top 3. Who cares about the top 14? We're going to stay here. Let's give him his moment. Come on. As we come through the final 2 corners. Use his 3rd gear. Keep the traction. Sorry, that was a spin going for a practice lobby. As we come through the left-right section, coming up to turn 6. Oh no, God. NTO slides coming out the final corner. This might allow Sir Tracy to catch it back up. We'll check on them in a couple of laps time. T4B still in the slipstream of Danger. Danger doing a fantastic job holding on to P2 at the moment. But here comes T4B. He's got the momentum. He's going to swing to the left. Danger's going to try and hold on to P2 for as long as possible. The acceleration of that Jack doing as much work as it can. T4B late on the brakes. Up into P2 goes T4B for the AMG, so he's up into P2. The charge for P2 is done. P1 is just too far down the road. I don't think he's going to get it this time unless Kanata makes a mistake. So Danger is in P3. Gets a little bit tunnel vision. Tries to retake the position. Isn't quite able to. Loses a little bit of time. Just needs to settle in now. Matthew, P4. Way 2 still in P5. Great job at the moment done by Way 2, who's on the medium tyres. Obi-Wan in 6th. Radiator in 7th. Zab's in 8th, just falling off the back of the pack. Tom's in P9th with a half-second penalty. Mgru's in P10. I think he's had a mistake or 2 this lap. I think he has had a mistake or 2 this lap because D-Dubs has caught right up to the back of him. There was a sensible gap, between them. D-Dubs does go around the outside. Hang on, I need to have a closer look at that one. What happens here? Oh, Mgru just makes a mistake. Outbrakes himself a little bit, struggles to get on the power. D-Dubs reads the road perfectly, sets his car up wonderfully, drives it around the outside. Gets 10th position, is going to hold the middle of the track, come across into the racing line, still holds the middle of the track. Gets the car stopped, keeps the car tight and rotated, denies that switchback, lights up the ridge just a little bit too early. This allows Gr3 to get a good charge and a good run coming out of the hairpin. D-Dubs slots back into the slipstream, going to try and keep as close to Gr3 as possible. Gr3 comes across to the right, defends the inside. D-Dubs comes back to the left as we're now side by side coming into the final corner. D-Dubs playing it smart, playing it wise, lets Gr3 go through, fires it out the final corner nicely, gets a good run. Is it going to be good enough to get up the inside? He's going to have a little look. No, he's going to back off of it and back out of it. He's going to get his car set up as well. Let's come back and check on these. So what has happened to Jezza? I hear tyre squids. So it's Jezza and Yuri having their own little battle as we come through turn 1. I'll come back. Oh, Jezza just lights up the rear tyres. Oh no, poor Jezza. So up goes Yuri. Down goes Jezza. There goes NTO. So Tracy's going to see this and is going to start enjoying it a little bit more. Where did we get to? Here we go. There we go. We go back up to pretty much where we were. So let's come back. Let's keep an eye on these guys. We're going to keep an eye out here. So Tracy gets a good run. As we come through chicane. Jezza and NTO take slightly better lines to Tracy, struggling to get the car to grip up. We're going to come back to these guys in just a moment. Way 2 in a fantastic position. I've never driven it, so I can't comment. I did do an eval race with it. I've heard it's basically the new 911. Terrible starts, but good on its fuel and tyres. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I couldn't tell you. So, Way 2 doing a fantastic job on the mediums, starting to catch up to the back of Danger. Danger on dying softs as we're on the final lap of this race. Just behind him, he's got his teammate Obi-Wan in the Jag. Zab is now up to P6. Radiates down to P7. I've never driven it, so I can't really comment, to be brutally honest. Matthew's in 8th. Tom's in 9th. Gr3 is in 10th at the moment with under pressure from D-Dubs, who's in 11th. Astro's just behind in 12th. Coming through the first couple of corners is Yuri, who's in 13th. Just behind is Jez in 14th, being overtaken by NTO, trying to go up the inside in 15th. Now, Jez has the inside line for turn 2, tries to cover her off as they can't cover her off as these guys have a little bit of a tangle. Off track, these two are good mates as well. Generation Fab, where are you? Right, you need to learn a lesson. Never tell me there's a generational fumble coming up and if you've done it.
Great race lads and great bones done lad.
Right, let's go back to... Oh, Sir Tracy, no! Was having a good run, but Kanata comes out of the final corner. I'm going to catch it. Swings left and right in celebration. Absolutely dominated here today. Takes a very dominant victory here in the feature race. T-Bot comes over the line for second. Fantastic race by him. Danger holds on to third. And Way 2's in fourth, running out of fuel on the line. Obi-Wan holds on to fifth. Zab's in sixth. Radiates in seventh. That was a very close finish by those guys. Matthew gets eighth. Tom's in ninth. Gr3's going to hold on to... Oh, there's the major fumble. So, Gr3's in 10th. Just hold off Steve Zubs in 11th. Major fumble who can't control a car's in 12th. Yuri comes over the line for 13th. NTO holds off these two.
Watch the back loudly crying face.
Yeah, I will watch it back. NTO holds off these two for 14th. Jez is in 15th and Sir Tracy's in 16th. Let's go back to where you are. Let's see what happens. I know, poor Tracy. I was really hoping Tracy would get a position or two then. Astro gets a monster run. Hits the back of D-Dubs. Doesn't know what a steering wheel does. I'm joking. He does know what a steering wheel does. Yeah, unlucky Astro. Had a great run. Wasn't able to pull it off. Where is he? So, your race winner, Kanata. A very, very dominant victory here in the feature as well. Let's get the standings. So, the final standings post Stewart's as well. So, tier 4 blue. So, T-Bop is in first position at the moment with 35 points. Kanata's in second, 9 points behind T-Bop. Zab's in third. Way 2's in fourth, and Danger Mouse is rounding off the top 5. Looking over at the constructions, the Jaguars are taking the lead at the moment, 4 points ahead of the 911s, and the AMGs are in third position, not far behind with 38 points. So there we have it. There's round 1. We got Nürburgring tomorrow. For those of you who did join, I wish you the best of luck and no rain.
You go back to end of lap 18, start of lap 19. Had a decent move if I say so myself. Team Jag.
End lap 18, start 19. Okay, I'll do it this once. Okay, I'm guessing from here. Let's go from here. I've been asked. I will do it this once. because it's you. Let's see what happens. So NTO's on the inside, defends the inside line. Both of you get side by side through dev chicane.
On lap 19, but starts before the start-finish line.
Okay. Both of you get through the dev chicane side by side, which is an impressive feat on itself. Okay, yeah, I'd say that's an impressive move. Brakes very late, manages to go around the outside of Jezza, up to the outside / inside of NTO, powers out of the turn 2 and fires it out toward turn 3. That is a great move as well. So yeah, let's go to your teammate. So yeah, there we go. There you have it. There is round 1 of season 21. When do I do comms next? It'll either be Wednesday or it'll be next weekend for comms for round 2. I don't know yet. You will have to wait and see. So I hope everyone has enjoyed. Take care of yourself, and I will see you all soon.